to order. And tonight, this evening, we have two programs on the agenda. First, we're going to talk about Spring Street overnight parking issue. And Commissioner and I, we had canvassed the area. And I'll have the commissioner come up and tell us what's the best way we could do about that. But we did check the code, and we should have signs there already, but for some reason, the signs were taken down.
Yeah, good evening. So the signs are up between, on Spring Street, between Washington and Little. So we have to look at the other section now, you and I, the remainder of the street. I don't know if that was a concern or not, Chief. We addressed the whole thing? The whole thing, so.
What's the issue? Is it overnight parking?
No, it's not overnight.
Well, it's not overnight parking.
It's parking, regular parking.
Okay, I'm just going by what
Yeah.
the worksheet says.
Yeah, it's probably a typo.
Yes.
But it's they wanna eliminate one side of the street so that the fire trucks can get in there because it's really tight in there. The chief was observant there, and there are no parking signs there. They should be, and they put up already between Little and Washington.
Okay.
We have to. There is no more restriction after that. So we have to. You and I will have to go finish up the rest of the Spring Street.
Okay, all right.
All right.
So once we do that, that should be fine, and there should be no issue.
Yeah, if it's not, we did not see any restriction for parking between Sterling and Washington on Spring.
Okay.
So if we need to if we need to put the restrictions, we'll come back and make the recommendation for the council.
Okay.
And they can vote on it.
And from what I observed when I was with you there, I think the main issue is, especially at the beginning, at the corner of the street, if we could make that no parking at all, it would be a lot easier for the truck to turn in, because once they turn in, they should be fine.
Yeah.
But I think the main issue is,
Yeah. There is no parking on one side right now between Spring and Little, and that will address the whole situation.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Except from Washington now to Sterling. You and I will have to go back again and check it out.
Okay, should we leave that on the program for now until we fix that? Then,
Sure, until we check it out, yes.
Okay.
We didn't have a chance to go back.
okay. All right, thank you, Commissioner.
Yes, sir.
And also, we have a request from Alderman Klein and Alderman Green for 156.5 Linden Avenue for a handicap parking spot. Alderman Kleiner, would you decline to comment on that?
Sure. This is an issue that came up as someone who came into to the clerk's office looking for help with, she gets blocked in, and she's been there for many years, and she has a very handicapped daughter. There's just a wheelchair ramp coming down, and that ramp gets blocked. And it looks like the best solution to it would be to put a handicap spot in front of the house. Now, she is a renter, but she's been there for, I think, 17 years, something like that. So it would be okay if people didn't park right in front of her house and so close to where she pulls her car in that she can't maneuver it at all. So I don't see any issue with designating that in front of her house as a handicap spot. Alderman Green, anything to add to that? Or?
No, just that I know that there was some communication with her. Thankfully we had translations there and translators there, and just so that she knows that it's not her handicap parking spot, of course, but it definitely will help her situation out, I believe, immensely.
Correct.
Thank you.
And the commissioner and I did meet with her, and she's a nice lady, and she does have a daughter that's handicapped, and she's on a wheelchair. And the only concern I have, she do have parking, but the curve is not cut. But being that she's a renter, I don't know if that could be an issue. So I told her to reach out to the landlord to see if he could do anything about that. And I did explain to her, just because if we do issue the sign, but it's not just for her. Anybody that have a sign could park there, so she'll have to negotiate with her neighbors just so they could be kind of kindly for her to, leave that spot open. And Commissioner, do you have anything else as far as that?
Well, it's a police issue when, and she understands that when when the neighbors block her driveway, that is illegal. You cannot block anybody's driveway. You have to be within 3 feet from the edge of the driveway even. And she understands that, and we're gonna be, the mayor and I discussed it afterwards, after I saw you, and we're gonna be bringing this matter to the police chief's attention so that he can have some cars going back and forth in that area to monitor it, because I think she's having trouble with her neighbor. He blocks her just to block her, I think. That's what she said. You know, so we're gonna, you know, we'll talk to the police chief and he'll keep an eye on that area. And if she has any issue, she has to call. We told her, you and I today, that she must call the police right away.
The question, thank you, Commissioner. The question I have for you, is it because the curb is not cut? They just assume that, you know, they
No,
could park
it's
there
an
anytime?
obvious driveway. It's an obvious driveway and a car is there.
Okay,
So if the curb is not beveled in there, as you know, we discussed that with her, and she said, my landlord is trying to kick me out, and if you make him do this, make him cut the curb, she told us that today, it'll give him more reason to get rid of me. She's worried about it. That's what she told us today. I told her, you need to cut that. She said, well, it's, you know, it's more hardship.
Can the police department then issue a ticket without a curb cut?
Yeah, because it's an obvious driveway.
that's.
Yeah, and the
That's
police,
If I'm parked on my lawn,
it's not the lawn, it's paved driveway. It's actually pavers.
I think you better look into that first, to find out
Okay.
whether they can issue a ticket without a driveway.
We'll discuss that with the chief, but it's a two-family home. One side has its own driveway and the garage, the other side has its driveway, so.
But my question is to you, Commissioner, should we get the driveway, the curb cut before we put the handicap parking sign?
No, the two have nothing to do with each other.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, she is requesting a handicap sign in front of her house, just downstream from her driveway.
Okay.
That's all she's requesting in there, at least to keep, the neighbors are giving her a hard time. And she was crying and she was emotional. She's handicapped too, by the way. She has a sticker too, both her and her daughter, and they have only one car.
Yeah.
Okay.
And her daughter requires tremendous attention, as she told us, and there's an ambulance that comes in there sometimes if she has some issues in there. I don't want to say too much about their private condition, but it's a tough situation, especially if her neighbors are giving her a hard time for no reason, just blocking her driveway.
Thank you, Commissioner. Alderman Kleiner?
I just want to say, I do have confirmation from a neighbor that she does get blocked in, that the other tenant there, or whoever it is, does block her in, and the neighbor did confirm that that's been a problem.
He confirmed that to us again, her neighbor. He came out and he spoke to me and Alderman Jude. Again, he confirmed that.
Okay.
The same neighbor. Yeah, well, I don't know if it's the same neighbor, but the neighbor.
Yeah, probably
yeah,
so.
He did.
Just
No,
gonna go
we believe
around.
her. It's just a matter of.
Yep. Thank you, Commissioner. Alderman Witt?
I have no issues.
Okay. Alderman Massey? So no issue? Alderman Tobin? You fine?
Sounds like the city is well represented in this conversation. Thank you all.
All right. This is Commissioner, so you think she'll have that? Because what I had mentioned to her, we don't have a record of the permit that she have, and I told her she should come to City Hall and give us a copy, then we can move forward with that.
Yeah, if you want to make the recommendation to put it on the next council meeting pending the receipt of the proper documentation to Rick.
Okay.
If it's there, it's there. If it's not there, then you don't vote on it. That's all. She promised to come in tomorrow. We offered to take a copy, and she said, no, I'll come in tomorrow and take care of it, as you know.
Rick, when you do get the copy, can you please, okay, all right? Thank you, Commissioner.
Yes, sir.
All right. Mayor, anything else you wanted to say?
No, that was my
That was it?
question about the curb cut.
Okay, it's actually 7:10, and this is all I have for this evening. Thank you, everyone.